A decision on phasing out fossil fuels across the globe is unlikely to happen at this stage at the COP28 in Dubai. Even winning the support of all governments would far more clarity and support for finance and clean technology for developing countries appear quite an uphill task. Strong pushback from oil and gas producing nations in the Middle East, African, Asian and Latin American countries categorically said that they could not embark on such a journey without clear guarantees of international support.
Please take your seats so that we may begin.
The 28th session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP28, in Dubai concluded on Tuesday. Countries gathered at the Dubai summit with an aim to agree on a global plan of action to limit climate change fast enough to avert more disastrous flooding, fatal heat, and irreversible changes to the world's ecosystems.
We've been seeking the right balance between those elements. But this is a process of the parties. It's a question of how ambitious the parties truly are and where they want the balance to be. That is what we're negotiating about.
A new document is in the pipeline as countries debate on no mention of fossil fuels in the first draft, which was released on Monday and was deemed as the most critical document of COP this year. The first draft notably omitted mention of phase out of fossil fuels, and now the new one is on its way to get published. Now let's take a look at some of the major initiatives launched at the 13-day summit. 170 plus announcements made at COP28, ranging across pledges and declarations, publications and reports, new initiatives and progress and updates. Task Force on Net Zero policy to encourage sharing of knowledge and best practices among policymakers and regulators launched. COP28 presidency launched the Net Zero Transition Charter. Global Renewables and Energy Efficiency Pledge. 100-plus countries agreed to triple renewable energy capacity by 2030. Global Cooling Pledge. 66-plus countries agree to reduce cooling-related emissions by 68% globally. 52 signatories of the Oil and Gas Decarbonization Charter commit to net zero operations by 2050. Utilities for Zero Alliance launched with 31 partners. Countries of Latin American and Caribbean Renewables Hub raised target for renewable energy in total electricity generation to 80% by 2030. 78 countries and 40 organizations endorse COP28 UAE Declaration on Climate Relief, Recovery and Peace. 141 countries join COP28 UAE Declaration on Climate and Health, commit to advancement of climate-resilient development. COP28 presidency launches UAE Declaration on Sustainable Agriculture, Resilient Food Systems and Climate Action. COP28 high-level champion announces launch of COP28 Joint Statement for Climate, Nature and People. Azerbaijan has been announced as the host of next year's climate summit after fraught negotiations. Now all eyes remain on the ongoing negotiations at COP28 with the hope that parties will deliver an ambitious agreement that sets the world on a path to a more sustainable future.
All 198 countries have to agree on the final text that this climate summit is hoping to produce. One aspect that is being seen as positive, a wide-scale pledge by many countries to triple the amount of renewable energy that's produced by 2030. John Bevir in Dubai, reporting for DD India.